Hello and welcome to another episode of I've Got an Answer For You with Spenny Pugliano, a radio talk show where people call in and ask for advice, and then sometimes I ask for their advice because after all, advice is a two-way street. I am here live at the apartment of my friend Alon Elion. Alon is currently not home because he is creating an app called Lonely, a place where you can find orphans on your phone to adopt. Keep an eye out for that because when it does come out, you can save 20% on your first child with code Spenny20. You know, a lot of the guys that I know at the shelter were orphans at one point or another, and from what I understand, it's pretty rough. Anyway, the topic of today's conversation is money. Some people have it, some people do not. Some people used to have a lot of it, but, not so much anymore. Can money buy happiness? I'm not sure. I go back and forth. Maybe that's an answer that we'll find today, together. Not a bad intro. All right. And now, for our caller of the day, we have Frank from Westchester. Frank, how can I help you? How are you?
Hi, Spenny, fan of the show. I had a question today regarding, well, I'm 29 and I've never had a credit card, but I want to get my own place, and I'm told they want you to have some sort of credit score when you sign the lease. So I was wondering what you thought about credit and if you could recommend a good starter card to use.
Well, Frank, I'll be honest with you. When it comes to credit, I am not exactly sure what it is. Here's the thing. As I said in a previous episode, I was in a coma for a few years of my life. I wake up, I get $1.2 million from the church. And then I met my wife. We had the house, we had the kids, all that stuff. We did all of that without credit cards. It was a different time. Now I understand it's a big part of our society, credit cards and things like that. From what I understand, with a credit card, you take the card, you go to the store. I don't have any cash on me. Take the credit card. You buy the credit. You buy whatever you wanted. It could be shoes and milk or whatever at the store. And then later that day, you got to go to the bank and you say, "Listen, I bought shoes. I bought milk. I owe you guys some money," and you pay them at the bank.
Well, I think you got the general idea, right? You don't actually have to go to the bank. You don't pay the bank. It's a credit card company. You pay them
Oh,
directly.
somebody comes to your house and they say, "All right, Spenny, you got milk, you got eggs, you got shoes today. Here's what you owe us," and he collects the money. Boy, I hope they give that guy a gun because that's dangerous. You're collecting money all around town.
Well, yeah, they're not actually. I don't think they send a guy out anymore. It's through the mail. They send you a bill that you can pay. You can mail a check back, or you can even they got a way you can pay your bill on the internet now.
Oh, well, in that case, I say go for it. That sounds great. You're a young man, 29 years old. You could start, building your credit score so you get your own apartment. Just make sure that you go to the bank every day. Write yourself a reminder. Go to the bank. Make sure you pay them, and then your credit score will be good.
I will absolutely 100%. Thank you for your time, Spenny.
You're very welcome. I love you, Frank. And now for my favorite segment, Oh, How the Tables Have Turned, where I ask my guest for advice. Frank, if you had $1 million, what would you do with it? I think it is worth mentioning that $1 million is not what it used to be. Now, if you have $1 million and you buy a house that's like half your money or more, I speak from personal experience, money is getting more expensive.
That's the only question.
Yeah, I'm just asking because if I was lucky to get $1 million the first time, lucky enough to get $1 million first time, maybe I'll be lucky enough to get $1 million again. I just don't want to, I don't want to mess it up this time because I blew through that. I blew through a lot of all that money. Yeah.
I understand. I've been listening. I know, and I'm sorry for that. I think I'd get $1 million. Probably first thing I do is I go out for like a nice dinner, bring a couple of friends, treat them, have a couple drinks, and then I'd probably put it away for like a week and just take a breather and figure out maybe what constructive way I could put it to use. I'd stay away from house too, I think.
Interesting. Now, Frank, listen, I've been out of the game for a while, if you know what I mean. And, like I said, money does get more expensive over time. When I was a kid, a Coke was like 5 cents. Now a Coke, might be like, I don't know, $3 or something like that. I'm not even sure. Let's say I wanted to go to a nice dinner with a few friends, take them out to celebrate, have some steak and champagne and stuff like that. What is that like? I mean, could it be like $10,000 to $20,000 from $1 million? That's a lot of money.
I think I don't think it's gotten quite as large as 10, 20 grands. I think you can probably get out of there in three figures.
What does that mean? Three figures?
Something in the something in the $200 $300 range, depending on how many friends you bring.
Oh, if that's the case, I'd just go out and eat steak every night if I had $1 million.
Well, sure. Well, it would add up, but yeah, I understand. I understand the compulsion,
It
certainly.
would add up, wouldn't it? See, that's what I didn't understand the first time.
Right, right. Well, you live, you learn.
You live and you learn. You talk and you learn. And that's what the show is all about. Like I said earlier, advice is a two-way street, right? So Frank learned something. He's got to be responsible when that credit card guy comes to his house every day or he has to go to the bank. He better pay or his credit score is going to be affected. With me, if I run into $1 million again, maybe steak a few times a week, not every night, because it'll add up, right, Frank?
Absolutely.
Absolutely correct.
I think that's reasonable.
Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today, Frank.
Thank you for having me on, Spenny.
I love you and I wish you all the best. So I think we learned a lot today, but I just wanted to leave you with a few thoughts. Can money buy happiness? Some people say, yeah, sure. Me? Well, here's how I see things. When I was rich, I was definitely happy. I had a house. I lived with my kids. We had a Nissan Altima. Life was good. Then when I lost it all, I became very unhappy very quickly. But on the other side of the coin, I've been the same level of poor for a few years now, and I do miss some things. I haven't had a croissant in like 6 years. But I have gotten happier. Why? Not because of money, because of friendships, because of new experiences, because of being here with you. And friendship doesn't cost any money, right? That's one of my favorite things about it. It's free. So listen, in the end, is it all about money? No. Is some of it about money? Yes. And I am looking for a job. So if anybody knows, anybody looking, let me know. I'm trying to get my foot in the door at the library. I had a great idea, I thought. I said, listen, the late fees, collect them first when somebody takes the book out. Then they got to bring the book back to get the money back, like 5, 10 cents, whatever it is. That way they have more incentive. That means the reason to do something, to bring the book on time. Hello? Spenny's got some ideas. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us. I do hope you will join us next time when our topic of conversation will be legacy. Until then, please know that I love you and I do wish you all the best.